Peace, family. Welcome back. I am ChiVital, aka King Chi, and I am back finally with this video, The Art of Scrying, Real versus Fake, the Seer's Quest. This video is going to touch on some very important nuances for you to look for if you're interested in developing your psychic abilities and your skill set when it comes to scrying. We are in the midst of the scrying lessons, and I came across some information that I said, I came across the information because on this particular channel, I am talking about scrying, so the algorithm is going to speak to the art of it, and it's going to show me what other people are talking about. And I just want to get on here and just kind of chat it up with you all and help to demystify some of the things that are clouded in a bunch of fiction and fantasy. All right, so as y'all tune in, please thumbs up this video and thank you so much for your patience because y'all, today has been a cloudy day and I ain't want to complain, but I was trying to talk to y'all while I was fired up. And I didn't get the opportunity. So here I am. Shouts out to everyone who got that special clip earlier when I was on the road. Um, to see or not to see, the choice is yours. And so I'm going to bring the two together, and I hope that you continue to explore that statement because it's really, really jam packed with a lot of jewels for your own self discovery. And that's my favorite part of doing this work is getting you also think outside of the box, outside of the way that Western psychology has you look at things, outside of the Carl Jung shadow work, like to really, really become fully immersed in who you are and understand your inner workings in such a way that, once you got it, nobody can take it away from you, no matter what. All right. Peace. Let me shout out everyone who's in the chat live. Shouts out to my regular peoples. Thank you so much, De La Chatham. Thank you, Arika. Thank you, Black Venusian. Thank you, Lavette Gooden, for being in the building. I know more is to come. If you all don't mind being the notification squad, you can let everyone know in both groups that I am live. And I'll give you just a minute to do that. Okay? Now we're going to talk. So I'm going to kick back because I have a bowl of oatmeal. I was thinking I could just eat my oatmeal. We could talk. But I'm not going to do that. That's a bit messy. Not really, but so good. What's up, Evergreen 509? Hi, Monk is in the building. Listens. So here's what I came across. First of all, there is I'll call it a viral channel. So it's a channel with a lot of subscribers and a lot of followership. So like they have people really engaged in the information. And it is a witch school, supposedly. So I invite all the real witches and all the true indigenous high priestesses and priests and warlocks to join in on this conversation because it's important that the world understands that although indigenous science, spirituality, and ancient occultism is becoming more widespread and more open to the public, it does not mean that it's less sacred or less valid in the world of science, in the world of true science and its phenomenal ability to serve a greater purpose in our everyday lives and in the lives that are unseen. Okay? There is an obsessive um, interest in how many of the ancients have been able to pull forth information without having some physical evidence of it being retrieved that way, like a book. And we have a history of our people being able to document things from out of thin air. And then we have practices that have been passed on in through tradition, where most of it has been oral tradition. However, there are systems, right? There are systems in place for training. And what I heard today, I'm going to use this one example and just kind of magnify it. Just chilling. Um, the chat is open. Ask your questions as you may. I'll check in later. But the woman was doing a video on scrying. And I was interested in seeing, well, what is this woman gonna talk about? She was dressed the part, like a typical looking like a witch lady, right? Black hair, really pale skin. Um, Title says witch school. So I'm like, I don't really watch these kind of videos because I'm interested in other things to expand my knowledge, and my entertainment is kind of different. But I said, let me just click on it by chance. And the first thing that I heard, I couldn't watch the whole thing because I said, okay, now I get it. I get why I hear like there's a lot of stuff going on online. The encouragement that she was given in regards to scrying, one, she started with people will begin their scrying journey and they may not see anything, right? So I was able to listen because that's a fact. When you first begin scrying, you may, you whatever material you're using. Scrying is a very open general term. We're talking about looking in a reflective surface, okay? And for you all, you're actually practicing and building up your skills with mirrors and a crystal ball. Needless to say, if you've never done it before, sure. When you get your tool and you look, first time around, first couple of times around, you may say, I'm not seeing anything. I'm just seeing whatever is in the room reflecting off of the surface, and that's it. So she said that, that's normal because the crystal ball, for example, is not necessarily going to be like a movie screen. What you're seeing is really in your mind's eye, right? It's just in your mind's eye. And so you are tapping into your imagination to report what it is that you see. Now, who here in the chat right now? I see there's 10 people viewing. I got 6 likes. Can I get 4 more? Can I get 4 more, sir? Please, sir. Nah. um, who can see the possible downhill slope that's gonna occur with a group of people who are learning the technique of scrying, who are told that they're not going to see anything really in real life in the crystal ball or in the mirror, but they're going to start seeing things from in their mind. Who can see the issue with that? Press 1 if you can see the issue with that. Press 2 if you're not sure. Now, this is one of those days where we're kicking it. We're just kicking it. So, there's room for error. All right. So, most of you in the audience, you all can see the issue with that. As someone who is aspiring to truly become a psychic. Now, every human being has the ability to become psychic in the sense that what you are able to predict, see, past, present, and future can be very accurate simply by honing the skill, curving your lifestyle to developing that psychic force that already exists within you, and then testing it for its accuracy. Right? So I'm not saying that you have to be you have to be born of a certain race, you have to be born of a certain DNA strand, your mother had to be a witch, your father had to be a wizard. I'm not saying that, right? I'm acknowledging that those of you who are here to develop a skill that is within you, right? You're here for education. You're here to have something that's within you to be drawn out and then to be refined through practice, through specific tasks and activities that are going to help you build the skill, right? So I already like what I see here. Black Venusian said, with the statement of telling a group of people who are developing their psychic abilities that they're not necessarily going to see anything in the scrying material, like a television showing a movie. It's really going to be from your mind's eye. She said, you're setting people up to not trust what they see. So here's the thing, right? I like what you said there because that statement is twofold. And this is what I get. Because on the one hand, she's setting people up to believe what they imagine versus believing what they see without them putting their projections onto what they're seeing. Now, there are exercises that are trust building exercises, okay, where you and others that are on the same level amongst someone who has already developed the skill will have to look into something where there are particulars known already, and each of you should come with, if not the same, very similar information. Because the skill set of mediumship through psychic visions and scrying is not a happenstance ability, right? It's not something that one imagines. An imagination is intentional thought. An imagination is taking some information and expanding it via the lens of your own psyche. So with a group of people who have varying psyches because they have different experiences as far as what they've been exposed to, what kind of visual vocabulary and experiential vocabulary they can pull from in order to imagine, are going to come up with very different stories if they were to go through psychic testing. All right. So if a school is preparing individuals for mastering a particular skill set within the realms of psychic vision, mediumship, um, and all the other names that are included in that, right? If they put together a group of people and guide them to lean just on their imagination and only see the scrying tool as a point of focus so that they can zone out, they take away the ability for the students themselves to really sharpen the skill to a point where this group can see the same thing, which makes it more of a phenomenal science, right? Than some type of like flip of a coin. In true initiations and rites, along the way, there are various tests and tasks, activities that are given that have to be passed via accuracy. So the purification leading up to um, recording your visions and learning how to pose questions and learning how to trust what you are receiving are authentic practices in the realms of high magic, high priesthood. Now, the schools of the New Age give you more an E for effort or an E for great guessing. Okay. And what I want you all to do is, first of all, I want you all to appreciate yourselves for putting in the time to go through the tedious work that's required for what it is that you all want to achieve, right? You all want to achieve a level of sight that you're able to be useful with the skill for yourself. And then for some of you, hopefully for other people. Because I would love to see more folks like yourselves who are truly dedicated, who get up, who do pranayama in the morning, who train their minds, who have a sense of peace and calm, who are not easily distracted, to get out there into the world of spirituality and be of service to humanity. Especially those of you who are interested in things like social work, counseling, um, project planning, healthcare, because you have an added gift of being able to see beyond the the scope of other people's imagination and actually engage with energies and events that are soon to come, and you have access to past events that will help you understand better the person that you're working with, which gives you a better opportunity to be someone who can illuminate them, who can enlighten them, who can add value to them in a deeper way. What gets me is that sometimes I feel like these pretend schools, right? these pretend witch schools, I feel like they're more geared towards the like playing on the vulnerability of the inner child of a lot of adults who are interested in spiritual development because they did have an interest in some types of occult practices as children, and they may have been shamed about it, or they may be black sheep, so they're trying to find some type of community. And so then they feed off of that by giving them plenty of like doggy biscuits for things that won't ever really equate to mastering a skill. You see what I'm saying? We spoke about the power of the black obsidian as a stone in itself, right? We know it has a very ancient history. In the books of spirituality, creativity, art, travel, communication, what I realize is that there's actually a lot of folks that have transferred their belief in something invisible, right? They've gone from a religious box where they were so separated from this entity that they call God, that has, or their Jesus, right? That has all of these supernatural abilities, that they walked in belief. And when they felt something waking up in their spirit, that something was missing or something wasn't enough, they thought they left that alone and moved into this space called spirituality or even witchcraft or whatever, occultism. But they're still walking in belief as opposed to truly knowing that, yes, there is actually um, plenty of other dimensions at play right now. Yes, everything that we are looking at and that we engage in is coming from the unseen dimension of a collective consciousness and how it is perceived by your mind as well. Some of it is not really magic. The things that we call magic are more so in alignment with what the logical mind can't explain, but it ends up adding up and making sense. It's just not a linear track of like string of events. And so now we're seeing things like quantum physics being able to play into these other dimensions and give some of the scientific minds that are strictly linear the ability to see some of the reasoning behind the magic. But anyone who has gone to Vipassana for 10 days, silent retreat, fasted for a month, can tell you that they truly, truly, truly see for themselves. It's a fact that they're able to sense things before they happen. They're able to dream more prophetically. They are able to intuit. And so the funny thing about the scrying is that when you're looking into your crystal ball, that energy of trancing out in training, what you're learning to do is not to trance out and lose your mind. You're learning to separate yourself from the dense 3D dimension you're in and to become lighter in your frequency to be able to perceive what's happening within another dimension. If you are only training to get to a point where everything disappears and you're just staring at a ball, right? And now you've lost the connection between you looking at the ball because now the ball itself has also disappeared. And you're just dreaming with your eyes open. Now you're not scrying. You may be channeling. You may be in contact with a spirit that can come through your body because now you're relaxed and your mind is open. But then you're not in the same technique. And that's the thing about a lot of the different schools that you'll come across is that though they're looking at giving you credit for doing something that's not actually the skill set that's being taught, which gives them some wiggle room around whether or not their teaching actually works or not. You follow what I'm saying? Like if I can get you to look at a bindu of any size, because any single point that you're focusing on becomes a bindu, right? Focus point. If I can get you to focus so intently on one particular point until you lose yourself, and then your creativity, your imagination opens up, and now you're receiving impressions, and I call that, oh, good scrying. That's what you'll do every time you go to look at your tool and you never get to the point where you connect directly with something that is going to speak back to you. There's a world of intelligence in this material. It's locked into frequency. Everything that we have around us, the stars, the planets, our bodies, these glasses, my beads, my earrings, everything is vibrating at a particular frequency. And when you're practicing in the art of scrying, you're learning to tap into the frequency in which now you can communicate the language of the crystal language. The crystal can speak to you directly through its frequency. And I did share with you all that the art of scrying, the various meditations, the breathing, because you're so focused and just allowing everything else to go away while you are focused on receiving the pictures within your scrying material, you will develop these other skills of being able to hear, being able to see from your mind's eye, being able to taste, being able to smell things, being able to feel things. But I'm clear that these are secondary psychic abilities that are going to build up through your consistent practice of meditation and connecting with the frequency of the crystal in front of you. Press 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Because they be wanting to play on the internet. And I would love to see some of the initiated witches in here, like true witches, true mediums, okay? The true horses, whatever y'all want to call it. I would love to see y'all in this chat or even in the comments if you come and watch this later. Consider reading tea leaves. That's another scrying technique. An elder who's passing on the wisdom of reading tea leaves has to be able to teach the apprentice what they are seeing in a particular format of tea leaves. What direction are the tea leaves gathering? What shapes are the tea leaves um, gathering into? What forms might you see? What kind of striations, spirals, clumps, darkness, shadows, right? So when the person is teaching them, they have to look in it and receive a message. And then at some point, they will pass it on to the person and ask them to look, what do you see? And they will have to read it. And the elder who has a long history of being able to see and predict and does the work to help people heal, have babies, prevent murders, hide murders, see war coming, famine coming, when is there going to be a great crop, what's happening with the weather, right? They've done it over and over and over again. So people trust, they know what they see, they know what they're doing, right? That elder, in a sense, will have to very literally be able to say, yep, the person is able to read it. And every form of mediumship and divination in a true school requires a test of your abilities. It's not something that, you just make things up. Everyone can make things up. And chances are, if you're a really good listener, you can make things up and sound like you already know what's going on, right? And people tend to get caught up in that because sometimes it's so obvious that they're just guessing that they say things that anyone with two eyes that work would guess about you. But a true medium will see beyond the obvious and speak on the things that are pretty hidden. Those moments of, yo, nobody knows about that, right? Not like, oh, I see you wear a lot of red and black. Yes. So there's definitely uh, an energy of Papa Legba is with you. People have done it. Okay? People have done it. There's got to be, this is where you're getting some skills right now to decipher and discern between what's real and what's fake training. Okay? There was a meditation that was given recently for the scrying. What was shared, there's absolutely a particular outcome. It's medicine. It's medicine. Every medicine has a medicinal effect. That medicinal effect has been recorded over thousands of years. If that weren't the case, then we're playing with the placebo effect and new ageism where people are just guessing and they're happy something happened. Something happened, right? But we're not doing that here. And I'm very glad to see that you all aren't worn out with doing the work because the rewards are very top tier. Very, very top tier. Would you agree? Let me get some ashe in the chat if you would agree that the rewards are top tier. Word. So if y'all have any questions, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Davey said, I'm still caught at the point where the mirror disappears entirely, but I don't feel like I'm locked in where I'm supposed to be yet. All right, cool. Like, practice makes perfect. And I'm glad that I'm making this video because if you were at the witch school, they would tell you that, you know, the mirror is going to disappear too. Right now, you're training your psyche to where it goes, how far it goes, and that subtlety between meeting it where it is and then allowing information to come from it. Now, once you get to that point, that's why I said in the beginning, like the first stages, you want to see about how long it takes before you feel yourself taken through this threshold. Okay? Where you're no longer staring at a black dot that's not showing you anything. It's as if it's not as if, it is literally where you get to a point where that black obsidian becomes malleable like water. And so every little impression that is receiving will create a ripple, and you'll be able to catch glimpses. And those glimpses will begin to turn into more exact pictures. And those pictures will begin to, now, when you're at that point, now you're going to start getting other information coming in. Okay? So y'all be careful out here in these streets. Yeah, be careful, you hear? So I hope that y'all enjoyed this. How long do you require us to silently meditate before mirror training? That's a good question. Silently meditating before mirror training. Really, you all are fine. Like, you did your purification, right? Changing your diet. It helps to speed up the practice. All right. Um, One thing that people don't connect is that when you have low absorption because your colon is full of crap and you've been eating lots of sugars, um, it does have an effect on the eyes. Eventually, people with diabetes, they make the connection. Oh, like the sugar affects eyesight. But before it gets to that point, your ability to see, okay, and focus, because without being able to see, some people have a hard time focusing, hence why some children are having trouble learning and applying skills because their eyesight is not as strong. So eliminating the gunk from your diet helps to refine your already present senses. So whatever's there, it helps to already refine them. Getting consistent with a practice of they say it really takes like a month to create a new habit of doing every single day. But for the folks who have been in the workout crews, it's been over like a 90-day period before they have totally jumped into a system where every day now I'm going to do something physical, whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So once you've cleared your diet and then you're sitting there, the meditation is sitting there and scrying, keeping a journal, noting. I was able, and you have your clock, right? I was able to sit quietly and just focus on what's in front of me and not engage with whatever thoughts was coming up for this amount of time. This is a reoccurring thought. This is a new thing that presented itself while scrying. The meditation itself, while you're working with the mirror, because you don't have to get to a still point in order to begin scrying. You have to practice. The purpose is for you to be doing it so consistently that you become more neutralized to the information that comes, so that you're not imprinting or projecting too much onto the information that you receive. But it takes practice. Even if you sit quietly staring at a wall and you got your meditation on fleek, when you get in front of a crystal ball, now your brain is registering, I'm supposed to see something. And once you're supposed to see something, you're going to start to project. So that's why practice makes perfect. You don't need to be perfect before you get into the practice. I know you're going to catch that quote too. You are amazing with doing that. Can we scribe more than once a day? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. Now, Davey, you took out a message. I don't know if you want me to speak on it, but I guess you don't because you took it out. So I'm gonna leave it. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right, fam. Well, I just want to come on here and holler at y'all. Um, I guess I should have brought my other toys that I have for you all, but not yet. Will glasses affect scrying? If you wear glasses every day and that's what you're used to looking through, it should not affect scrying. Some people would like to take their glasses off when they get to scrying because they're using another level of sight. But I would say in the beginning, for it's like your training wheels, right? Some people, when they take their glasses off, they don't trust that they've written their name. They can't get their eyes too focused. Some people wear glasses to keep their eyes focused because they might have weak eye muscles, right? So, in wearing the glasses while you're scrying and you feel comfortable, that's fine. Because once you get really great with the skill, if you take off your glasses, which is not necessary, but when you take off the glasses and you go to look, and it'll take years, it will take years of practice. The information will just come right up. And then you'll also be relying on other psychic abilities that have developed over time. Okay? Um, okay, so Davy was sharing that when it comes to divination, she can tell how vague she can tell when someone is BSing by how vague their statements are when calling it pulling from spirit messages. Indeed, indeed, indeed. When divining, there should be information. I always say a divination session, but this is how I approach my clients in body work and ceremonial healing in consultations, is the fact that most people come to receive help knowing kind of what area they need assistance in, right? Consciously. But what's a really good session is when you're meeting with someone who peers beyond what you think needs to be helped directly and is able to see beneath the surface and what is holding that person or holding you if you're the client in a particular way that's getting you stuck. Okay? Most people seek assistance and guidance at this higher level, utilizing divination when they feel like they're stuck because they cannot see the next steps ahead or really compile the information that they've received so far to make a breakthrough. Consultations, divination should provide you with a level of breakthrough and confidence in how to step forward. Okay? And if the person is too vague, meaning they only speak on the surface level, the obvious, and they're unable to reveal something from the past or something that's pulling from the into the future to weave the full picture, then you're not really getting all that you should be getting from a session. Some people even feel a little nervous when they see a really good diviner that pulls up things that they're not conscious of at the moment. They get nervous with that one. But that information should reveal itself rather quickly, unless the person is able to, with some people do have spirits that can see years in advance, but they may say that because the pictures or the information that they're seeing will give them indications of a time frame that is beyond like 2 weeks or a month. Okay. And it can be a rare occasion as well, because as diviners, depending on the level of divination, we're not looking to look through your whole life destiny path. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of pulling. So an Akashic reading is different from I need a 30-day outlook. You see what I'm saying? And Ita is way different from I need to know what's happening Friday. So that should give you a little more uh, understanding and knowledge to put into your bag for when you are seeking spiritual guidance. Okay? So now I am truly going to sign off. It's been a pleasure being with you all. Don't forget to post your homework in both groups. And for this video, please do share your insights in like a little paragraph, you all, in a paragraph. See my oatmeal here? Cooling off? I wasn't playing. I was really serious. It's like perfect now. I put some raisins and cinnamon in it. Nope, no sugar. Write a paragraph about your insights. To see or not to see, the choice is yours. Beyond what I'm going to say now, I want you to continue pulling that apart. But you're training to be able to see because you're choosing to be able to see. But if you want to settle for just your imagination, the choice not to see is also yours, because that's not truly seeing. And you have a beautiful, beautiful skill that you're learning in this these set of lessons in the art of scrying. And I hope that you honor it. All right? Peace, love, and bliss. Technique Twin, hit me up. Not sure why you haven't received your mirror as yet, and I got you. Just text me. I'm out.